setting Ryan up to be the bartender and telling him to pour her extra heavy drinks, whatever. Gretchen, you can taste when a drink is extra heavy. You don't have to drink it. So, but it's at the point where she did have too much to drink that Tamra was essentially entrapping her when, he's like, just give me a kiss. And she's like, literally like in a back bend, bent over away from him. And Tamra says, I think it's better if she just stays here and we let Ryan take care of her. That's felt predatory to me.
Welcome to Cocktails and Gossip, the podcast where we drink cocktails, but you better believe we're going to spill the tea. We chat reality TV, celebrity blinds, and the hottest tea from BravoandCocktails.com. And as always, it's all alleged and just for fun. We do not verify our blinds. I'm B.
And I'm Amanda. Let's get into this week's tea.
What's up, cocktailers? Hello, Amanda.
Hello. Hi, cocktailer. B, okay, I'm dying to hear. How's everything going on your vacation?
We leave tomorrow. I'd move to Jamaica. No, I'm kidding. We did 10 days, which honestly, it was needed. But now I'm like very ready to come home, have a few days to get everything together.
Yeah.
And get those kids off to school. So, yeah, real life is coming. But we have to tell. Oh, I sent Amanda my crazy drone picture.
It was you guys. So the glamour shots were literally everything I really hoped they would be and more. I especially liked that B's daughter did this sassy pose with her sunglasses down. It was so cute. I want to get a picture done like that. It looks so cool.
It came much more naturally to her. So they put you in this, it's like acrylic, almost like plastic, and you lay in it. And they put you into poses, and I'm like, this is very bizarre. But she hopped right in, did all these different poses. I was like, all right, you go, girl.
I love it. And then yesterday, I'm working away and open Instagram probably 20 minutes after two big news things. And I was like, oh my gosh, I bet B is out on a boat or something somewhere. Because I was like, she hasn't posted anything. So I send her this, it's like a siren. It just says, Karen's getting out on September 2nd and Taylor got engaged. And I think you guys might have seen it. She reposted it.
And I just wrote back, oh my God, I'm in the jungle.
I had a feeling.
So we started in Negril, which I tagged Skylark, by the way. I have no partnership with them. As you guys know, I'm anonymous. So if I'm in a hotel and I like it, it's just a recommendation based off the fact that I enjoyed it. It's not you could sponsor me, Skylark. I'd love that. But it's cool. It's a boutique hotel in Negril. And then we came to an all-inclusive in Ocho Rio, which this is where Dunn's River Falls is, which you've probably heard of. It's very well known.
It's the one where all the housewives go and they all slip.
Yes.
Down the
Well, you know what? Right? And I bet that some of them actually went to this one because my sister-in-law is Jamaican. We have not an inn, but she knows. So she's like, well, Dunn's River is awesome, but it's also very overcrowded because every tourist goes there. So we went to one called the Blue Hole, which is less known, less crowded, gorgeous waterfalls, hiking. Obviously, I didn't jump off anything, but my kids and my husband and they all did jump, zip line, all that. I walked around. I went in the water. But there I am, and literally we walked out and we go back on the bus, and my Wi-Fi comes back, and I see this news, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm in a jungle. I don't know if it's really a jungle. It's like, the waterfalls, it's like jungle-ish.
Yeah, it's a jungle, I think.
It was so nice, though.
Wonderful. Was this a good time of year to go to Jamaica, by the way?
Probably not because it's summer. But my thing with it is it's hot in New York. People say the same thing when I go to Florida in the summer. It's it's hot everywhere. If I'm on vacation, I'm mostly submerged in water or at a restaurant in air conditioning. So for me, yes. But other people will only want to go in the winter, I guess, because
I thought the water was nice and warm.
And so warm.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Can we start with Taylor and Travis? So very happy for her. But I feel like we were just waiting for it to be made public.
So I had thought they'd been secretly engaged for a while too. I read an article last night that his dad, Travis's dad, was interviewed and he said that they got engaged about 2 weeks ago. So that would have been right around when they did their podcast. which, they definitely seemed a little giddy. And I was kind of wondering when I watched that.
I think that's the thing. I think the podcast and the album, it was kind of like, dude, I think the dad said, though, 2 weeks ago. So I guess they haven't been secretly engaged. And maybe we'll never know. But nobody, had the spoiler. I mean, other than everybody speculating every day since they got together. But nobody, had it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, they've got stuff pretty well locked down. I had actually the same thought. And I thought it was actually really sweet what his dad said, that he was wanting to plan something really big, and that Taylor was really just wanting to just do it and getting antsy, and so that he just pulled her aside before dinner, because his dad is whatever you do, that will be special, because that'll be the day you get engaged, which I thought was very normal people advice and very cute.
Yes. To me, getting engaged is such a big deal on its own that I agree. Why do you need pomp and so I don't know, it's so exciting in and of itself that I don't need to be in a helicopter
like Gretchen and Slade.
We'll get to them. And then our girl Karen is getting an early release from prison. Amanda,
I'm curious to hear what you think about this, because I think you put up a poll, right, saying how do you feel about this, she's done her time, or
right?
Okay, well, we know. So she just said that she's to be released September 2nd, which is that Tuesday, the day after Memorial Day, right? Or Labor Day. Let's see here. It says 1 year. Okay, so she had 2 years in prison sentence with 1 year suspended. And 1 year would mean that she was supposed to serve a year, and she's getting out having served 6 months.
So I think essentially she's getting out 6 months early. You guys, the poll, 68% of you said too soon, and only 32% felt she served her time. I think it's fairly common with this sort of crime to be released early. You always hear about overcrowding and whatever, all of those things. Listen, the personality trait that does something like this, nobody should drink and drive.
Right.
It happens once. I mean, Karen, the reason she's serving time is because it happened multiple times.
Yes.
We all saw the awful body cam footage, and regardless of how much Prosecco I've ever drank, I have never spoke to anyone like that in my life. It's...
Yeah.
She's not a very nice person. So that's what it is. And it goes back to, I don't think anyone would want to really watch me on Housewives. Maybe as a friend to joke around in the background, but you need these crazy people that you tune in for. I don't know.
So I was actually one of the 32% or whatever. And this is why. Because I think the fact they gave her any jail time at all, I think was very significant. And I think these days when judges give a sentence, they know that nonviolent prisoners are probably going to be released early. So I'm figuring they probably gave that sentence knowing it would probably be an early release of about now. And I think, like I said, the fact that she's had to go to prison for a significant amount of time is a big punishment. And so, I don't think another couple of months was really going to make or break a big difference, because as it was, her life already had to be completely disrupted. She's taken away from her family, all of that. So I'm not saying that I have any understanding of what the right amount of prison and the right amount of time is, but I'm just figuring that when the judges give that sentence, that they know that there will probably be an early release. And so, I think they probably knew, they probably were aiming for 6 months.
Yeah. And she's not a kid. 6 months is a long time.
But now that we think Potomac is still filming, what do we think?
Like clockwork, we get an email. Literally, I had your text, and moments later, I had an email, and it said, Huger's Homecoming. As The Real Housewives of Potomac Season 10 wraps filming, Karen's team is in active negotiations for a last-minute return time to her release on September 2nd, 2025. The plan would set the stage for a 2 to 3 episode spinoff documenting Karen's return from jail and her journey to readjusting to life on the outside. Oh, yeah, that just sounds funny. She's a hardened criminal. I mean, she was probably at a Martha Stewart type jail, right? I don't even know. And lead to her full-time return for season 11. My immediate thoughts, Shannon was right back on the show following her DUI. Yes, she only had one DUI, but Teresa was back. They held production for her to get out of jail. So and it is conflicting because on the one hand, why are we giving people who do bad things this sort of platform? But then on the other hand, it's like we're watching reality television, and I completely expect that it couldn't be any better timing for Karen. Production's still up. Now, if they had to bring the cameras up and everything, they'd wait till next season. But if cameras are already up, you're talking 3 days, she's out, 4 days.
Yeah.
I absolutely think they'll cut her a check. I think they'll probably cut her not as big a check because she hasn't been there all season.
Yeah.
And they'll give her a couple of episodes. And do I think she'll be back next season? I think that largely depends on how this season does without her. And if ratings are good, maybe they will cut her loose. I think that's a possibility. I don't think they're going to lock her into a season 11 contract like now. I think that they'll get the 2-3 episodes and then they'll decide once Potomac airs and ratings come in whether they want her back or not.
Well, I think to your point about seeing those body cam videos of her and of the things that she said and the way that she behaved, I think it's more than just her third DUI, right? Like, she's clearly got something going on. I don't know if it's anger issues or what it is that would have created that outburst. And I would imagine, I can't say for sure, but I would imagine if she would do that on a body cam with a police officer, she's probably done this before with other people in her life. And so I don't know. I'm conflicted as well because I am interested just to hear about how prison was and, you know, how the readjustment goes. But I don't know if I need to see her past that.
It's funny. I was at breakfast this morning with my cousin and she was like, we know what we're going to get. She's going to come on and she's going to say, oh, it was great. You know, I took the time to reset and reflect. And then she's going to go right back to being the entitled person that she is. I mean, this is her personality. No amount of, I don't know.
Yeah, which is why I'm like, I'm just not sure that I always enjoyed her on the show because she can be almost a little bit ridiculous in her delusion, which generally makes for a good housewife. But I don't know that I need to see more. I think it might be, like, let's see what happens, see how the reintroduction to society goes, and then
cut her loose. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, put her on at least a long pause. Cocktailers, I have a story for you. You know we are big fans of Caraway's non-toxic products. They're gorgeous, obviously, to start with. But let me tell you about the ultimate test. I put their cookware to. I made Rice Krispie treats. It was a Monday. I wanted to make a treat for my kids and then my carpool kids. I didn't want to heat up my kitchen from baking, so Rice Krispie treats it was. But then I'm melting the butter and the marshmallows in my beautiful 3-quart saucepan from Caraway, adding the cereal, and I forgot how sticky all of that is. And I immediately started thinking about having to clean it and wondering why I did this to myself on a Monday night. Except, guys, it cleaned like a dream. Nothing stuck to the pan, to my fingers, to the spatula. Yes, but I did not have to scrub a pan in the process because it cleaned so beautifully. Knowing that it's non-toxic made me feel even better. Years ago, Caraway's founder and CEO, Jordan, accidentally overheated a nonstick PTFE, aka Teflon, coated pan and got sick with the Teflon flu. It was black and fuming, according to Caraway's team. Cooking with Caraway really makes me feel good because I know that I'm not releasing toxic chemicals into the air or into my family's food. Caraway is also running a limited time sweepstakes where every dollar you spend equals one entry to win $100,000 in cash or a full kitchen remodel. Caraway has cookware, bakeware, and food storage bundles that can get you one step closer to winning the Instagrammable kitchen of your dreams. If you have been eyeing Caraway's internet-famous 12-piece cookware set, now is the perfect time to buy. You can shop Caraway risk-free, enjoy fast free shipping, easy returns, and a 30-day trial. Plus, if you visit carawayhome.com/gossip, you can take an additional 10% off your next purchase. This deal is exclusive for our Cocktails and Gossip listeners, so visit carawayhome.com/gossip or use code GOSSIP at checkout. Caraway, non-toxic cookware made modern.
Swerving over to the OC.
Yes.
I have to shout out our friend at Face Reality 16 who rewatched the Naked Wasted episode and shared a recap to her Insta. I shared all of it, and she really broke down the episode and like picked the clips that were.
Talk about watching that through a whole new lens.
It was alarming.
Yes.
So, like, you see Ryan cornering Gretchen in the bathroom, and she's intoxicated and she's saying, don't kiss me, don't kiss me. Lynn Curtin and her husband are like, we want to drive you home. And Gretchen's like very clearly out of it, intoxicated, like, I'm fine, I'm fine. Tamara's like, I think it's better if Ryan, who, by the way, is flirting with her, drives her home. Yeah.
And that's where it felt predatory to me.
Yes.
I think having him setting Ryan up to be the bartender and telling him to pour her extra heavy drinks, whatever. Gretchen, you can taste when a drink is extra heavy. You don't have to drink it. So, but it's at the point where she did have too much to drink that Tamra was essentially entrapping her when, he's like, just give me a kiss. And she's like, literally like in a back bend, bent over away from him. And Tamra says, I think it's better if she just stays here and we let Ryan take care of her. That's felt predatory to me.
Yes, I'm with you. So certainly watching it, this was 17 years ago, and you and I were 17 years younger. And let's face it, the world was different. And I think it's changed for the better in that regard. I don't know if it's because I'm an adult now, I don't know. In any event, it was disturbing. But now let's move to current day so here's what I think went down. Because you guys are like, what do you think about the situation? And shout out to Kiki Monique. What do you think happened? Who told? Did Gretchen say this? What I think is, I think that Gretchen Slade, Jen, Ryan, Katie, and Matt over at dinner. I think that Slade and Gretchen got into the story of Naked Wasted. I think that they may have said something that, I don't know, maybe I was drugged, something like that. I think it was made clear that that part was not to be repeated. I do believe that they wanted Katie to bring up the Naked Wasted to kind of remind the audience what Tamra did to her. Katie couldn't help herself. She got this information. She went to the journalist, Kiki Monique. Katie knows Gretchen didn't want that part repeated, so she lied and said, I never said that. But now, see so Gretchen is also lying, because I don't believe Katie completely fabricated the she was drugged part. Maybe Slade and Gretchen didn't say we definitely think this. Maybe they alluded to it, but I don't think Katie pulled that out of like clear thin air. If Gretchen doesn't have proof, which I would imagine she doesn't, if she went to the hospital 17 years ago and she has proof that she was drugged, okay, prove Tamra did it, right? Tamra can sue her for slander. So Gretchen and Slade don't want that part on camera. They can't prove. First of all, I don't believe Tamra drugged her. I don't believe that Gretchen could prove she was drugged by anybody. You know what I'm saying? So
because it was it Tamra, was it Ryan, was it somebody else there on set? Yeah.
So maybe Gretchen did say something like that to Katie. Katie messed up because she had no business repeating it to anybody, never mind a journalist. A lot of blunders on Katie's part. And also, I believe that Jen was at the dinner and heard the same conversation. So Jen is pretending like she doesn't know what's going on because she doesn't want to be involved. Like she's like, I didn't repeat anything, so I'm not getting involved kind of thing. What do you think? What's your...
I think you make a compelling argument. I I don't. I think that if Gretchen had really thought she had been drugged, I think she would have said so, or at least privately said to Tamra, like, once they became friends again, was I drugged? There's something about that part. Like, while I could see that happening because I could see.
Or what if Katie said to her at the dinner, or Jen for that matter, do you think they slipped something to you? And Gretchen and Slade were like, could be. I don't know. Like,
yeah.
And then something like that then got twisted to that.
That is what a little more likely where, you said the word alluded earlier, or maybe it wasn't like a straight up statement. And then Katie took it and ran with it because Katie smelled essentially an opportunity, but that obviously went really wrong. But I do think that if Gretchen, now I think it could have been just as plausible if Gretchen really did think she could have filed a police report. She could have sued Tamra. She could have sued the network. Mm-hmm. I just don't think she actually did go to the hospital. So I don't think she could prove it. I think the other thing here is while Tamra was definitely, like I said, her actions bordered on predatory in this case, I don't think she would have set her son into a situation where he could have possibly been in trouble or that there was some sort of drugging of Gretchen. I just don't think a mother would put their son in that situation, although it really did surprise me watching that back again, that she let that go on with him, quote unquote, as he called it, flirting. I think Katie added to the story when she met with Kiki Monique because it's clearly a really shocking thing. Kiki obviously has no reason to make this up. If anything, she had
100%. I don't think Kiki is in any way guilty in this. I think she's the unfortunate person that they pulled into it.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's hard out here for us, quote unquote, bloggers on the streets. And I'm sure not just wanting to keep herself in good graces with Bravo, but, you and I always, protect our sources too, because we want information in the future as well. And I'm sure Kiki's gotten lots of things through her career that she has not shared because she was told not to.
Exactly.
I don't know. I think Katie embellished, and I think Katie stepped way out of line in this situation. And I know there's been a lot of backlash and support for her, but I'm still seeing somebody who can't seem to get a straight story out of her mouth. And I don't trust her.
Well, yeah, because she's like, well, I was protecting Gretchen. But the thing is, whether Gretchen said, didn't say, alluded, Katie took something and brought it to quote unquote journalists. So why'd you do that if you're friends with Gretchen?
Right. We got an email. Again, could be nonsense, but we have to share. It's been reshared by Reality Tea and Reality Blurb. So thank you guys for crediting us this. But, those of you guys listening to the podcast know, if you want to be the first to know about what's going on, stay close to our website and obviously podcasts and Discord because the tea has really been flowing in lately. So the subject is Alexis again. Ahead of Real Housewife of Orange County's landmark 20th season, producers have begun eyeing a full-time return for Alexis Bellino to spotlight her pre- and post-marital journey with John Jansen. Gag. That was my addition, sorry. But gag. The move comes after last year's decision to side with Shannon over Alexis, which is a choice executives now view differently as Shannon has been increasingly difficult to film with, refusing to reconcile with certain castmates and experiencing frequent emotional meltdowns. Ideally, Alexis will join Tamra, Heather, Gina, Emily, and Jen full-time. Gretchen is expected to appear as a friend of if she ends the season on a decent note. alongside a new cast member with ties to Heather and Gretchen's lavish Newport social circle. Executives still plan to invite Shannon back in a reduced friend capacity, although they are prepared to move forward without her if she declines. As previously reported, Katie isn't expected to return, although, of course, that could change following the reunion. Producers are also looking to tap legacy OC housewives Becky Gumbelson, Gina Keogh, Kimberly Bryant, Joe De La Rosa, and Lori Peterson for either a 20th anniversary party or a special dinner event. Despite recent rumors, there are no plans to end the franchise after season 20.
Okay, so what one of the cocktailers said to me, which I thought was really cool, and I wanted to mention it to you. They said, what I wish they would do for season 20 is bring back 4 to 5 OGs just for one all-cash trip, get a few episodes out, like right in the middle of the season. I think that's a great idea. Like,
love that.
Even like almost like a girls' trip in the middle of the OC season.
Yeah.
I think that's genius. Bravo, by the way. Shout out to our cocktailer who told us that. So I noticed Emily's name is included. Seems like a lot of people. We got Alexis, according to this email. We got Alexis, Tamra, Heather, Gina, Emily, Jen. That's 6. Then you're talking Gretchen as a friend of, which again, we hear she ends on a very bad note. I guess they're waiting to see how the audience reacts to it. What popped out to me, and something we mentioned last week, was they have been wanting to tap Gretchen's Newport social circle. I think that if they can get a friend of from that circle, maybe Gretchen stands a chance. Heather is also involved in that circle. They've been wanting someone from that crew for years. So again, let's see.
Yeah. I mean, I think right now everything's probably on the table.
Right. All things are possible.
Yeah. Because they usually start filming it like in January, right? After the holidays.
So I got some tea on the California filming. Yeah, they're going to like pick up fairly soon.
Oh.
I want to open it so I don't misspeak. But Alexis coming back, like,
No. Thank you. Pass.
I think that we can minimize Shannon's role without bringing Alexis back.
Yeah.
I don't think like one has to do with the other. What I think a more viable thing and what I could see happening is I think that Alexis would show up for the opening of an envelope. Right. So I think if you want to have Alexis go to lunch with a couple of the women, maybe Heather and Tamra, whomever she's still friendly with, and show pictures of the wedding and maybe a clip because we know that Tamra's going to be at the wedding and talk about a little bit. And so we get that suffices. I don't think we need more than that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really feel like I need to see her again ever. Definitely not John Jansen again ever. That's fine. Invite her to the dinner or whatever. I just don't find her interesting, and I find John despicable. I also agree that it probably is time also for Shannon to take a little break or at least a reduced role. And I think that makes sense. I think, I've always had a soft spot for Shannon. But this season, she's just unfocused and quick to go from 0 to 100 in terms of emotions. And it's just kind of, it's wearing on us. And I have a feeling, unfortunately, it's probably also partially to her just being on Love Hotel as well. I think she's maybe a little overexposed right now.
And she was difficult on Love Hotel. And then she was difficult on this season of OC with production. And I think I absolutely anticipate a reduced role. Regarding filming, what I was told was Beverly Hills cameras are going to go down any minute. Valley will pick up, which is absolutely true because I posted a notice of filming the Valley, I believe it was September 3rd. This person said then OC will film after the Valley. Then Vanderpump Rules season 2 reboot. We are getting the first season of the reboot for Vanderpump in October. So, yeah, lots of California filming. OC will pick up. So if the Valley's picking up September, then, yeah, I think your January is probably pretty on the nose.
Yeah, and that all makes sense as well to me because I'm sure that, I guess I don't know if they have the same production
They
company.
do. It's Alex Baskin's 32 Flavors.
There you go.
Yes.
So that, of course, they would be doing back-to-back because then they've got efficiencies. They can keep people employed. That makes sense.
Yes.
So speaking of the Valley, a lot of news came out over the last week because Brittany is with a new guy, and Kristen Doute, I guess, got to meet him, and like she said, I think she said like head over heels for him, something like that, like meaning that she really loves him for Brittany. And I think she even said something along the lines of she's met the other guys that Brittany has dated and not really cared for them, but this guy she really likes. And as soon as some media attention came onto it, this guy who is going through a divorce, as Brittany is going through a divorce, and guys.
Well, actually, technically, according to the people who know them and messaged me, they haven't filed anything, just estranged.
So I was going to say, like, this is a real, I mean, I'm sure you're seeing it, but like when you've had kids, you're in your like 30s, 40s, and people start to get divorced. It's not like you file or you make the decision to get divorced and then you snap your fingers and it immediately happens.
Right.
So some people are going through the divorce process for years and years. My opinion is that when once you filed or you've made the decision to divorce, because some couples wait to file until they've worked stuff out with their lawyers, and then they file the final paperwork, and it's kind of open shut. People approach it differently. Anyway, like it makes sense to me too that like he's a dad, she's like they're both going through divorces. It's very helpful. I can speak from experience when you're going through a divorce to have other friends who have been through it so you can support each other, because there's just so many. I used to say, like, just felt like there for a while, every day was a new box of what the fucks, when you're going through divorce. So anyway, it makes sense to me. I think that this ex-wife or estranged wife, it sounds like she's just looking for her 15 minutes.
Yeah, so he separated from her. She has 3 children with him. And she took to TikTok and made these videos. I think any of us can imagine it's hard to see your estranged husband, who was a private person and you're a private person, now out with a reality star and getting a lot of media attention. So, of course, I'm sent these TikToks that his estranged wife posted. And then I hear he has children with another woman. I'm not sure if he was ever married to the first woman or if they just have children together. So in my DMs, I get a DM that said, OB, he's got another baby mama who is wild, so that should surface soon. Within minutes, the first baby mama commented on my post saying, I am Brandon Hansen's first child mom, and they have in fact been separated for 7 months. He is not a bad father and pays Jazina child support. That's his estranged wife. He's involved in their kids' lives as he is with our daughters. So he has 3 with his estranged wife and 2 with this woman. So 5 children altogether. It's very funny to me that she's trying to make him look bad when she had an affair with him while I was pregnant with his first child and even after she was born. The hypocrisy is real, and this is just a case of a bitter baby mama. Brandon and Brittany are both still technically married, but both separated. Nobody is doing anything wrong in this situation. So that is from Brittany's boyfriend's first baby mama.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure, like I said, Justina, she's just looking to cash in.
Who, by the way, looks a hell of a lot like Brittany.
Yeah. Isn't that funny how people have types like that?
When I saw her picture, I was like, wait, is that Brittany? Like, I was confused because it was, I don't know. I thought because people were just sending stuff. And I'm like, is that? And I'm like, no, that's his wife. Estranged, whatever. But I was like, they look exactly alike.
People have types. If anybody follows Zach Bryan, the country music singer, his ex-girlfriend was Brianna, who was on Barstool and in that universe. His new girlfriend looks exactly like her. Exactly. Like, people have types.
That's like Tarek from Flipping, whatever, the TV show.
Yeah.
Christina Hack and the new one who is on Selling Sunset are legitimately twins. And now they're like best friends, which is awesome. And we love good co-parenting relationships. But I got to tell you, it's a little trippy when they post pictures because it's like he's like has sister wives that are twins.
I know. They need like sweaters with their names on them.
I mean, I'm just going to say this. I don't think that this is anything more than a case of this guy is broken up with his wife. Brittany is broken up with her husband. They're dating. What I will say is this. Brittany has a very chaotic life. She has Jax as an ex-husband. She is on a reality show. She is raising her son as a single mom. You know, Jax is involved, but we know that there's just, I'm just saying, if I'm Brittany, I'm not going to look at Brandon, who has 2 ex-baby mamas who are both wacky-dacky based on messages we've got, and just, 5 kids and all the complications that come with that, and be like, you know what? That's who I want to date. Because my life isn't complicated and chaotic enough. Let's add a boyfriend with an estranged wife who's going to post us all over TikTok. If I'm Brittany, I'm saying to Brandon, like, after this whole week of all this drama, you know what? I'm going to push the brakes and I'm going to focus on myself, my career, my kid, and maybe find a less complicated boyfriend. That's just my advice.
I couldn't agree more, especially being in a relationship with somebody who has 2 exes, and that means he's juggling 2 schedules on his own. And then it's even in the best of situations, that's a difficult situation, just logistics wise. Even if everybody is all friendly and kumbaya and holding hands, like, that is logistically difficult. So I completely agree. So
yeah, it's just, but here's the thing. She just doesn't make good decisions.
No.
People can't help themselves. Like, she can't help that she fell in love with Jax and all of that. But now you've learned. You're older, you're wiser. And so if you're going to make excuses for this guy, and maybe he's a nice guy the situation is just too complicated.
Yeah.
If you were a person with logic, you would say, you know what? This is too much for me, given all the complications I have. But she's not going to do that. She's going to date him. It's going to be on the show. The baby mama is definitely going to sign for $1.380 and film.
Oh, for sure.
And why wouldn't they have her? She's going to be bottom of the barrel cheap and bring McBee Galena energy. So she's a production dream. Now, is Brittany just looking to secure a great storyline? I wish I could say I think it's that. I just think she's a person who makes terrible choices.
I think she seems like she makes great choices for her son, but terrible choices on her own behalf. Yeah. So you got that DM from the person who knows him, and it said, the guy you posted in the story is amazing. His ex literally days ago told him she was happy for him, then proceeded to do this because she's jealous that he's with her. His ex has been out of the picture for a long time now. She wants her 15 minutes and she's getting it. Also, when the boyfriend sees Britt, he revolves that time around his work schedule and his schedule with his children. He never misses moments with his kids. He pays child support, takes those kids any time of the day. He has taken my kids for play dates because that's how amazing he is. His bitter ex is just jealous when he's with Brittany and is trying to ruin it for them both. I will say that actually is a really good sign if he takes other kids for play dates.
Or he has a really nice sister who sent me a DM to give him some good.
That could be true.
I'm only teasing. I have no idea who sent it. I just back up, Brittany. Pump the brakes. That's my advice.
Yeah.
If he's a good guy, I'm sure it's possible. Let him figure everything out. Let him file. Let things calm down.
Yeah, agreed. Okay,
so Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Do you want to read that email?
I will read it. Okay. It's subject, who holds the diamond? With filming just about finished, Beverly Hills Season 15 newbies, Amanda Francis and Christine Blackman, both introduced by Kyle, have been competing for the 7th diamond. Producers have a tough decision ahead as both are the quintessential Beverly Hills housewife. Rich, married, gorgeous socialites who have been in prominent LA circles for a hot minute. Our sources are saying it's a 50-50 toss-up, but the edge seems to go to Amanda Francis. She's a wild card with a young family, often finding herself in the group's conflicts. Christine is more laid back and goofy with a full layered family life as the wife of a Hollywood director and is also in the entertainment industry herself. My thought, let's give them both diamonds. Why not? Like, why can't we have some extended length episodes and just make it work? It's Beverly Hills. It's their like marquee show. If we like them both, like run with it.
100%. I'm with you on that. I would also like to point out that our girl Garcelle walked away from a check big enough to have 2 new people, Denise, Rachel Zoe.
Yeah.
Damn, Garcelle's a boss because
Yeah.
we know these shows have a budget. Beverly Hills obviously has a big budget because they're dealing with Kyle. There's a lot of big checks being written there. But the fact that Garcelle leaving allowed for all of these people to come shows that she really up and left, I would say, $1 million. Love the fact that one of them has a husband who's a Hollywood director. Give us Hollywood. Give us the entertainment industry. It's what we want from our Beverly Hills people.
Yes. I agree.
Somebody like Chris, wait, is it Amanda's the one with the social media account?
Yeah.
See, you follow her. I never knew who she was. She's got like a motivational Instagram influencer. I'm excited to meet her, but something about her says like maybe we're getting grifter energy, like kind of like Dorit, kind of comes from nowhere and then gets involved in like this prominent circle.
Definitely, if you follow her, she talks about how she came from nothing. So she's not a Nepo baby. She does not come from, the highest of LA circles. She's definitely worked her way up. So I don't know. I think I say let's see them both.
Yes.
So we got some good scoop on Summer House. One of the cocktailers sent us pictures from a dog rescue fundraiser in the city called it's called Every Last One. And it's a dog rescue out of New York City. And they filmed with a bunch of the Summer House people, like West, Lindsay, Amanda, Kyle. And there was a girl named, I hope I say this right, Dara Leviton. She's a makeup influencer on TikTok.
So I hadn't heard of her, but when I shared the video of her, I got a lot of you guys in my DM saying, oh my God, we follow her. We love her. She does makeup on TikTok and Instagram. She's got a cool account. Of course, I followed her after that. She reminds me of Paige, beautiful brunette, very fashionable, something just very it girl about her. I think that this is certainly their casting to try to capture that Paige magic. Let's see if it works out. We don't know her yet. A little bit disheartening. Somebody who was at the fundraiser said that, first, the good news. Kyle and Amanda hung out for a long time. They shared the charity to their Instagram. Lindsay was awesome. Wes stayed for a long time partying. But they said the new girl didn't interact with any dogs and left the second she was done filming. So I don't want to cloud our judgment. Maybe she has a dog allergy. I guess let's wait and see. I didn't love hearing that.
I'm looking at her sideways if she doesn't like dogs.
Right? I mean,
mine annoys me constantly.
Listen, I'm legitimately allergic to dogs, but I'm not if I were going to a fundraiser or if I were going to Amanda's house or any of my friends' house who have dogs, I take my allergy medicine.
Yeah.
And I go, you could pet a dog. You know what I'm saying?
And wash your hands. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Agreed. So the other, and this girl's got, if they're trying to make her the next page, she's got some big shoes to fill. So maybe she was
nervous,
like you said. We last week talked or shared about somebody who used to be on Summer House dating a married man. We have not had any denials or any pushbacks or really anything come into our DMs or our email, interestingly enough.
So I guess we're going to assume that it's all accurate because I think that somebody would have pushed back on it if it wasn't.
Yeah.
And a lot of you guys reminded us that when Gabby first started on Summer House, she didn't like Danielle because Danielle dated Gabby's boyfriend while Gabby and her boyfriend were still together. Now, of course, Danielle said, like, I had no idea that he was with you. And Gabby, like, accepted it, and they made amends and moved past it because, this was a couple of years prior. That's kind of coming into question because, I don't know, twice now this is happening. Listen, and I'm of the belief that the person in the relationship is the one responsible to respect the relationship. It's not anyone else's responsibility to honor my marriage except my husband and myself. But when you're the other woman, yeah, I'm going to look at you sideways, especially when it's something that you've done on more than one occasion.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. And yep, we're looking at you, ex-summer house person. Okay, let's talk about Miami because it's been wild, really, since they've gotten to Seville this episode. We still have Lisa and Larsa literally fighting in the streets of Seville, which I found kind of entertaining because Lisa's still following Marcus on social media. And then we know Lisa is late to everything. So that's been another big theme. But a couple big things happen in this episode. So first of all, I have to say, while it wasn't the focus of the episode, the whole scene with Lisa where she gets a text saying she has to have something notarized within 2 hours while she's at dinner in Spain, that would have sent my stress through the roof. And I feel like because Lisa talked so much about her divorce constantly, that people have just become numb to it. But that is such a messed up situation. Like, of course, Lenny is still messing with her and making these wild demands, knowing full well that she was in Seville and that she would have to drop everything and that it wouldn't be easy to just find a notary while she's in Spain. I just feel for her, and I feel like there wasn't really much attention given to that. And I just hope for her that this divorce hell is almost over.
And so they also wanted Lisa to put her phone in the basket. Here's the thing that one of you guys pointed out to me, which is something, and this is why the DMs and the emails are fantastic, because you guys give us so many different perspectives. What you guys said as far as her taking notes in her note app is people who are in bad relationships and being gaslit, dealing with quote-unquote narcissists, which we know is overused, they do things like take notes so that they don't get manipulated. So this is defense mechanism, it could be, dealing with her marriage. So she wants to write stuff down so she can like understand what was said. And listen, Lisa has a lot of annoying qualities, okay? She is ditzy. She is very self-involved. I'm no Larsa fan, but I will take her side. Lisa should have unfollowed Marcus.
Yeah.
I don't need to be best friends with somebody to unfollow their ex who is slandering them. I mean, it's just Miami is chaos right now.
It is. It is. Do you think Marisol and Julia sitting Lisa down, do you think that was Mean Girl stuff, or do you think they really were unnerved by Lisa taking notes on them?
I will say, Marisol, I always find that she can be a little bit manipulative, but where Lisa is concerned, I always have felt that she has a true affection for her. She calls her monkey. So I think Marisol was trying. I don't think anything Julia does is authentic. I think she's a phony fuck. But where Marisol was concerned, I think she was saying to Lisa, like, listen to me. Whether rightful or not, the group is about to come at you. Just follow along with this. Like, I think that Marisol was trying to help in a way.
Right.
But Lisa can be very unreasonable too. You
know? She should have just unfollowed Marcus from day one. Right. Like, it would have been, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's actually, at first I was really thinking that was kind of just mean girl behavior, but I think you're right, because Marisol does have a real affection, I think, and a soft spot for Lisa. In Lisa's defense, she's really getting it from all sides. The women, Lenny's still doing all that. I could kind of understand wanting, I mean, if I were a housewife, I would want some way to take notes just so that I could keep everything straight, because there's so much fighting and like so many words used. You kind of want to have the exact words versus the gist of these arguments. Like we reason number 1,000,000 why I would never want to be a housewife. But I think especially after that whole fight that happened with Jody in Milan, I think I can kind of see why she would be doing that. But anyway, the big fight that goes down at dinner, it's not Larsa and Lisa, although at one point Larsa threatens to leave. Earlier that day, when Adriana, Lisa, Kiki, Julia are out doing their like daytime thing, the ladies persuade Lisa to stop following Marcus, and she finally does. They also make a pact saying they won't tell anyone and that it's Lisa's story to tell. So at dinner, while Lisa is away, like from the dinner dealing with the divorce notarization, whatever, Adriana tells everyone that Lisa unfollowed Marcus. Larsa has almost no reaction, but Kiki gets pissed because she knew they had this pact. Adriana doesn't see what the big deal is. She's like, I think this is just good news. And their fight escalates, and they get to this point where Adriana tells Kiki she's being ratchet, and Kiki fires right back, calling Adriana old. Obviously, right where she knows it's going to hurt.
Well, I think if we're reading between the lines, the reason Kiki got so mad is because they made the pact because it's quote unquote Lisa's story to tell, meaning it's Lisa's storyline. Why are you hopping on it, Adriana? Because Adriana doesn't have much of a storyline except for her rental boyfriend. And I like Adriana and I think she's good TV. Yeah. But she was like, oh, this will get me camera time. This will get me in the mix. And I think if we read between the lines, that's kind of what everyone is always annoyed at her about, doing those sorts of things. Right. So Kiki was like, here we go. We made a pact. In other words, we're going to let this be Lisa and Larsa's storyline, but you're inserting yourself. So I think that's where Kiki's anger came from, because Kiki's like, yeah, I could have brought it up. Like, I could use the story. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so, yeah.
I think Adriana needs to watch out, or she could end up in the same situation as Shannon from OC.
Yes.
Yeah. So that fight has happened. And then Stephanie, who I'm liking less and less because of this PJ thing, like it just reeks of insecurity to me that she needs to hold who gets to be on the jet and how everybody needs to behave on the jet, that she's holding this over everyone's head really just for the power trip. I just feel like people who want to spend time with you because of your jet are probably not the people you want in your life. And it just makes her look like she values what people have more than what kind of people they are. So truly shallow.
And how does this first season housewife decide she's the boss? Like, I find her very annoying. I'm actually disappointed because I thought she'd be more interesting than she is.
Yeah.
Dr. Nicole had a jet. She didn't give it a reason where she got to rule the group. No. I find her bossy. I loved when Marisol said, we don't have to answer to you. Like, she was like scolding them and they're all like explaining. And Marisol's like, hold up. Like, I don't have to answer to you. Like, why I didn't go on your jet? Why I this? Why I that? Yeah, the Kiki and Adriana, they're getting into it. It's the discord amongst them is at an all-time high. And we got an email. And just to sum it up, because I know like sometimes we read the whole emails. I don't think it's necessary in this case.
Yeah.
But the gist of the email was like, next year's cast is very uncertain because there's so much bad blood and fighting that they have to figure out what makes sense. Sadly, I see Gertie as being on an island. Alexia, Marisol, Lisa, and Larsa, the email said they'll be fine. I get it because they have history. They can resolve. I don't see them going anywhere. I think Gertie's in trouble because if you're not friends with any of the women, and in real time, even her and Kiki fell out like post-reunion, so whatever went on there.
Yeah.
I think fans like Gertie, and I think they're going to see it as an injustice because they kind of feel like the cast is ganging up on her. And it puts production in a weird spot because you can have a fan base who doesn't want you to get rid of Gertie, but logistically, as a production company, they spent Gertie has not been able to get back into the fold. Whether the women are isolating her purposely and being unkind, whatever it is, you can't really move forward. And I think although we see Lisa and Gertie and they're like friendly, ultimately Marisol and Alexia can call Lisa up, which they will do because for whatever reason they want Nicole out and to stay out, and they know that if Gertie's gone, she won't come back, I think, they can call Lisa up. They can get her back on their side. And, like, who else does Gertie have?
Yeah, that's a great point. Because I was going to say, we've seen Lisa, Gertie, and Adriana kind of hanging out and taking pictures together post-season. But that is a good point because I don't believe for a minute that Lisa wouldn't just jump right over back to the other side. I'm with you, and you're right. And I think Gertie really needs Nicole to come back in order to stay on the show.
Do we think, and I forget what the email said about Stephanie because I don't see it, like I didn't recap that because like Stephanie annoys me, but do we throw out somebody after one season? I feel like they're going to give her a second season to flesh it out, like kind of like they did with Katie Janela. I think she got attacked a lot at the reunion. She obviously went against Heather Dubrow, so she wasn't on strong footing. And they gave her a second season and she floundered, and I think her time is up. Stephanie can look at this season and be like, wow, I played this too hard, and come in and have a better sophomore season. I think it's possible. I think she leaned in too hard to the girl boar thing.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's just like she's sort of like a Jen Aiden. She gives me Jen Aiden energy, minus the children.
I don't know that I necessarily see Stephanie being anybody's bulldog necessarily like we saw Jen.
Well, she backs Larsa pretty well, though.
Yeah, no, that's true. And I think, too, production is probably looking at all the things that are happening in Stephanie's life outside of the show and are probably like, we should probably keep cameras on her because something looks like there's a few things brewing with her.
Yes. And like also, let's get to the bottom of why your two sisters worked for you and now no longer speak to you, because there's more to it than that.
Oh, yeah. I think there's a lot more there to see with her. And I'm not done with her yet. I liked her at first. I just feel like her behavior on this trip has just been, honestly, you and I both have
PJs,
girls, and like just some of the stuff that like teen girls do to each other. It feels like something about her behavior feels a little stunted too, with her going for this very much older man. Like I think there's more to unravel about her.
And like she was his first wife's assistant, and that's how they got together, allegedly. Speaking of which, and I know this is a little bit of a diversion, but I just have to mention it. McBee Dynasty. We knew that Galena broke up. I think that Steve Sr. cheated on his wife, Christy. Christy's the mom's name, right?
Yes.
Often. But Galena was the straw that broke the camel's back. In a recent clip, and again, I haven't seen the latest episode because I am in Jamaica. I moved here. No, I'm kidding. But in a clip I just watched, Galena was their cleaning lady.
Yes.
And there's a picture of her in the kitchen, like.
Yeah. She was, yes.
Like, what? Christy is like a very forgiving person, but it wasn't just some girl who got a job at his farm, okay? This was a girl who got a job, and I'm sorry, most likely Christy hired her because I don't see Steve like hiring the cleaning staff. I would imagine that it's his wife who was doing that. And so you're hired by a woman and you have an affair, okay, and now you're shocked at Masha and the Masha of it. Like and she's invited to the wedding. Like, I'm sorry, but if that were me, I could forgive, I could move on. She can work for your father's business, but I'll be damned if the cleaning lady that I hired and trusted in my home who had an affair with my husband is going to be dancing at my son's wedding.
Either Christy has truly the most forgiving heart ever, or she understands what makes for good television, because I actually just watched it last night with my husband and I was like, oh my God, I cannot even imagine that. But what Christy says is this Jesse and Allie's wedding isn't me. It's not about me. So if Jesse and Allie want her there, then I'm okay with it. which
I think it's amazing. Like, and as a parent, you want what's best for your kids. And I think that the fact that whatever would happen, however Galina got into their life, I do want to say it is very obvious she cares for those boys.
Yeah.
She certainly cares for them. She certainly helps them at work. And the fact that Christy is like, you know what? She's a hoe, but my boys, she's good to my boys, and my boys care for her, and it is what it is amazing. I also think that Christy is like so beyond wanting anything to do with Steve Sr. romantically that she's like, I don't care because I'm glad he's not my problem anymore.
Well, and honestly, maybe Christy was more worried about what Galina would do if she didn't get invited to the wedding, because we've seen her act, or would she crash it, or which, like maybe it's a Galina management moment versus Christy having a heart of gold.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I like
it's such a good show. I hope you guys are watching it.
Oh, you have to. It's such a good binge too. Like, so good. You could hop on now and just start watching and go back and binge because it all makes sense. Like, you don't.
Yeah.
It's not hard to follow.
Totally agree.
We love you guys. The next time you hear from me, I will be off an island and out of the jungle.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. What's up, cocktailers? We want to thank you, as always, for listening to Cocktails and Gossip. Because of you, we've hit some amazing milestones, had some hilarious conversations, and have grown a truly amazing community. If you haven't already followed our podcast, hit the follow button in the top right of your Apple Podcast player, the follow button under the show logo on Spotify, or the subscribe button on Google Podcasts. We thrive on you, our audience. So make sure to tell all your gossip-loving friends about us too. And if you want to get all the tea, join our membership cocktail party by going to bravoandcocktails.com/join. Our members get access to the exclusive tea we post, the weekly podcast without ads, plus another additional bonus podcast every week. And of course, members also get to join us on our monthly live cocktail party Zoom, where we talk about the latest tea and even share tea that's just too hot to put in writing. Last, but maybe best, our members get access to the Cocktail Party Discord, where you can chat with Amanda, me, and all of the other cocktailers as well. There are always some great convos and hilarious comments happening in Discord. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate you.